Hi everyone. I thought this week that I'd try to give you a video about the guides settings for the job 11. I'll be a little bit late. Some of you have probably already done, and I know several of you have stopped by to ask me information regarding the job. But at some point you are going to be using the set of guides that are given in the instructions for job 11 within the weekly folder. They should be currently on your screen as well as my image. Basically, you're going to have a set of guides and folders in a file box. Okay, and these are ones that we used to use in class. They're a little bit different than what we have on this setting. Excuse me, but basically I'll start with the S's here only because of clarity. So when we start with an S that's a guide, and then behind the S I have another guide, SA, because I've divided the section of S's into a couple points that'll let me find the location quickly. Okay, and behind the SA, according to my set of instructions there, I have some folders. One should be for Shedley's jewelry store, which I believe this one's it. Yeah, no, Samson Slade, excuse me. Samson Slade's going to be first, okay, and that's this little folder that's going to contain their information. And then behind that, you would have the SA general file. So this would be an individual folder, Shedley's. And then behind that, I have a general folder, SA. Everything that's going to go in SA would be anything that starts with SA up to the next section of my drawer, which in this case is SCH. And so that next guide delineates where the next section starts. Okay, so pay very close attention. You've got guides typically on the left side of your drawer. There's some exceptions to that based on how you set it up. And then you've got individual folders and general folders towards the middle. Okay. When you look at the actual correspondence, you'll want to pay attention to first the letterhead. Okay. The letterhead comes at the top of the particular document. If it says temporarily yours, that's our documentation or our stationery. If it's anything but temporarily yours, you're going to use this information to file that particular document. So you probably can't see it on here, but I have coded Titans-ville Packing, and so I'm going to put that in the file box according to the name. Now it just happens that Titans-ville has its own folder, so I'm going to turn it sideways, going to my left side, and I'm going to drop it in the box, okay, in the Titans-ville folder. Now you would do that. I've got the first few done. You've got Samson Advertising. Okay, so again, coded in the right place under Samson Advertising. Now notice that Samson Advertising is not Samson Slade Advertising. So this one's going to have to go in the SA folder because it doesn't have an individual folder. We've got Rayburn. It's their stationery. Okay, so it's going to go in their folder if they have one. I'm looking in my box. No, Rayburn doesn't have an individual folder. So it's going to go in the general folder, okay, under RA for Rayburn. And then got a couple more here, Waddle and Reed. They happen to have their own folder. And then I've got one from Temporarily Yours. Now this one is our document, okay? It's come from, we generated it. So we'll never file anything under Temporarily Yours. If it says Temporarily Yours at the top, you're going to come down here to the inside address, and you're going to find the company name there, file by that name. Okay, in this case, it's Stetson Electronics. I have another one here though from us, and it says Rayburn Electric. Now, I have two from Rayburn, so which one will come first? The date will determine where it goes first in the drawer. So for instance, let's see. This one's January 4. This one is January 10. So the most recent document will go in front. So it's going to go in front of my older dated document and in the general file. If you have more than one company in a general file, you will need to first alphabetize by company. If the company has more than one document, you'll need to put those in date order within the folder. Okay? In individual files, the same thing is true. Date order but there are no other company names, so it's entirely by date order, like Titans-Ville Packing, Waddle and Reed. Okay? Now, when you go to do your job, then you will only be listing what's in the actual folders. Now, you need to note that, for instance, on this S section, I have a guide for S, okay, but my folder for S, the general folder, is at the very back of my section because, I have to get all the way back there, if there was no other place for the document, then it's going to go in this general S folder. So it'll depend on the individual breakdowns of your file drawer as to whether this general folder will actually be used, but it goes at the end. For every guide, I have a folder. Okay? Hopefully that helps. You can kind of see what you're doing. I know some students, you don't have to create a folder. You can use an envelope, as long as you know that it's a folder within your box. Okay? Call me if you have any questions or email. Be glad to give you some assistance. Thanks. See you later.